This goes back to you need to know this book. If you do not know this book, you need to develop a habit of reading and studying and understanding the Word of God. Psalms 119:11 says, I have stored up your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. Come on, we store a lot of stuff up in our heart. We store a lot of stuff up in our heart. When we talk about our heart, we talk about the mind, the will, and the emotions. It's the soul. The soul is made up of mind, will, and emotions. When you store stuff in your emotions, you have a tendency to live from an anger place. When you store thoughts up in your mind, you have a tendency to live from a confused place. When you store stuff up in your will, you will have a tendency to live in resistance. Does that make any sense? He says store the word up in your heart so that you don't sin against God. You need to get this word in your heart, that every time you come to a decision, you're not saying, what would Dr. Phil do? Well, what would Oprah say? Well, what would Bieber do? Well, what would Taylor Swift do? Well, what would Kelsey and his, whoever that girlfriend thing he's got going on is, well, what are they going to do? No. Turn to your neighbor and say, no, it's got to be this book. We have to study this book. Very quickly, listen. Number three is listen.